Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this. We'll see how it works. Morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. I made some notes. I don't know whether they're gonna work. We'll find out. So Phoebe, you said it feels like how has it not been 30 years since we've been doing this? And I kind of feel that too. Also, I was thinking about this the other day. The fact that um, I had a period of being really intensely sick, like super super sick, kind of before and right around the time that we were getting started, and it didn't really start to clear up until midway through year two. And so my brain was really screwed up, and all of my memories from that period and kind of that before period when I was really sick are really fuzzy, and I don't have really sharp memories from that period. So in a way it's there's a whole section of memories immediately preceding when we started that I don't have very clearly at all. That whole section is just very, very foggy. And so in a way, the period where things start getting clearer is after we've been doing it for a year. And so it's really weird because there's kind of this period that I can't remember very well, and then suddenly I have, this. And so it's weird because in a way it does kind of feel like it has just sort of been here forever. Because of the way it transitions from fog into memories that I have, maybe not super clearly, but better. So yeah, there's a definitely a this has been here for a very long time kind of feeling about it. I have a bunch of stuff in my notes about dance now, because apparently that's the thing that we're talking about now. I was just thinking, I don't know if this is something that we have really talked about before, but the fact that all four of us have some kind, well, I started to say dance background, but that is an exaggeration. We've all taken dance classes of some kind, because Oliver hasn't talked about it on here, this go around, but I know that we have talked about it before, because I remember having conversations about it when we met, in fact, in Florence. I remember kind of having a conversation about dance classes a little bit. So all of us have been in dance classes, which is interesting. I yeah, I you were talking about me not being familiar with ballet, and it really, I cannot I cannot emphasize enough how wildly unfamiliar I was with ballet or dance of any kind, because it was rural Oregon in the mid 80s. There was no internet, there was no streaming TV. Cable existed, but we had maybe 10 channels. So it was not and I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, so there's no theater, there's no nothing like that existed. It was just not here. There was none. And there was no place for me to access it or see it. So I genuinely had no idea what it even was or looked like. And I was thinking about this as we've been talking about the dance stuff, after I made my video. I made a mistake in my video, by the way. I realized after I made it that I kept saying 4 years, and that's kind of true, but like it was 5 years altogether. I had 1 year with my first teacher who taught like the 5-year-old class, and then I had 4 years with the main teacher. So 5 years altogether. And nobody ever told me that my feet didn't curve right. So I have lost track of what I was going to say there. I was thinking about it, and I realized that, like, even while I was taking the dance classes, I still never really saw anyone dance. Like, that sounds really weird, but, like, you know, I was still existing in the same vacuum. Like, there was no, you know, there was still no theater or, like, you know, ballet on TV or anything like that. And even while I was in the classes, like, we never really saw people dance, like, dance during the classes, because, like, you would go in, and I don't know what other people's dance classes are like, but these dance classes, you would go in, and at the beginning, everybody would line up at the bar in order of height, which meant I was always, like, the farthest on the left. And we would do bar exercises for the first part of class, and then everybody would move forward into the middle of the dance floor, and then we would be taught, you know, she would have like a step that she was teaching us, so we would just drill the same step over and over and over again. Or maybe we, you know, might have like a step combination if we were, you know, super exciting, and then we would just drill that same step combination over and over again. And eventually, you know, by the end of the term, this would be built up into a short, you know, like the length of like one song, like routine. But even then, you know, most of the time you weren't necessarily practicing the whole thing, and you were just kind of working in sections. So, again, we were never really seeing anybody dancing, and we were like absolutely never seeing anybody like actually performing, like, you know, watching as an audience. I think it's quite possible that the very first time I ever saw anybody like perform was maybe at our first recital, and even then I was backstage the whole time, so like I didn't see anything from like the front of the stage until like the video, like there was they made like a somebody videotaped it, and you could get like a VHS copy of it. So like until afterwards, until we got those afterwards, I still had like never really seen anybody like dance. And so that's weird. That's really weird when I think about it. Like, no wonder I was so unbelievably like confused and terrible at it, like, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any like concept of what it was supposed to look like. Not that I got better after I had, you know, seen, you know, 5 people in a small town dance recital, but still. Oh, and this is speaking of like small town thing, like, yeah, like, I mean, the town where I live, this is the same town that I grew up in, currently has a population of about 1,000, 1,100 probably. I don't know what the census numbers are for the most recent census. The last census, I think, was around 1,100 people. The whole time that I was growing up, it was around 800 people. And I should have looked up what the population is for the town where the dance studio was. It was probably larger then than it is now, but it was very, very small also. So yeah, like we're talking like middle of nowhere. There was like nothing here. The town where the dance studio was has like a historic district, and so their main street is where the historic district is, and it's like all these old like brick facades and everything, and everything has to like look a certain way, and it's all old timey, and you know, all these sort of preserved buildings. You're not allowed to like do major renovations, that kind of stuff. And the studio, I believe, was originally a tavern or part of a tavern. I think it was like two sections. And so our bar where we did the bar exercises was in fact an actual bar with a bar attached to it. So that was very special. I will have to see if I can like find pictures of it somewhere online. I'm sure I can find like at least a picture of like a Google Street View or something, but that would not really be helpful to show you what the inside looked like. The dance studio isn't there anymore anyway, so like I don't know if that's helpful, but yeah, I don't know. It was a whole weird thing. The entire thing was strange. Let me think. Your kneecap thing sounds very interesting, like the little moving thing in your knee. Yeah, I don't know what that would be. I had something that I was going to say about it, but I have forgotten what it was because it's been, an hour or something since I took my notes, and that is apparently too long for my brain to retain information. But yeah, like it doesn't sound like it hurts or anything, so I don't know. I would say like, you want to say like, well, go to the doctor, find out what it is, but like that's just like idle curiosity. Like it doesn't seem to be actually bothering you, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I just want to know. I just want to know what the thing is. I'm sad about your group chat situation. Like I'm sorry that it, became a place that wasn't good for you anymore. Especially if that's like, if you had like a lot invested in it, then that's very upsetting. It's really hard. Like, it's very difficult to like leave a friend group that you were really like, that you had a lot of yourself invested in, and then you have to like, you realize that it's not serving you anymore, and it's not like healthy anymore, and you need to like get out of there, or maybe it was never healthy to begin with. I've had some of those. And you need to like book it out of there, and it's even when you need to go, it's like it's really hard. It's hard to deal with. So I'm sorry that has been a thing. But I'm glad that you made a new friend, and it's neat that you made like a new Nerdfighter friend. That's cool. I have like probably 2 other people that I know from like the Nerdfighter community. And one of them is one of the other mods, and then one of them is just like a random person. And like, I don't really like talk to anybody that much because it's like too much energy consumption. But yeah, it's fun to have like people that have like some particular like background thing in common with you that you can like then converse about. That's like a nice thing. And when you meet somebody like outside of that community, and then you find out that you have that community in common, it's really fun. So that's very exciting. I also have not read all of the books. I have some of them. Like I have both of Hank's books, and I have a couple of John's books. I've read more than I actually have, but I have not read all of them. I haven't really listened to like Dear Hank and John that much. I listened to the first few episodes, but like I'm not a huge podcast listener. I listen to podcasts occasionally, but not like a lot. And so I sort of like the idea of listening to podcasts, but I don't actually do it that much. So I got really, really behind, and then I just kind of stopped listening to it. So, yeah, so I mean, it was fun though. Like I remember it being like enjoyable to listen to, but I stopped listening so long ago that I don't know where I left off, and I would feel obligated to go back to that spot and start again, you know. So I don't even know how I would find it again. Nerdle sounds very, very difficult. I mean, it sounds really cool. Like, I started to say I like math, which is like maybe not quite true. I never liked math at all until I got into college and I actually had a good math teacher for the first time ever. And then I was like, oh, okay, now I get, like, I understand why people enjoy math. Like, I was always fine at math. Like, I always got A's and B's in math, but I never enjoyed doing it. And I think as an adult, having, like, read stuff, done some research, looking back on things, adding up things in my life, I think that I have dyscalculia, which is like, you know, like what people call like math dyslexia. Not like to a major degree, like, otherwise, you know, I suppose somebody would have noticed at some point. But like, I cannot do anything math-like in my head at all, and the concept of, like, just listening to you explain Nerdle makes me kind of feel like, I mean, I would have to be like, I would have to break out a piece of paper and like write stuff down, and it would just take me like forever. It sounds horrifying. But I can imagine how that it would be more fun if you did not have that kind of extra weird brain thing happening. I like the way that Wordle has kind of created this sort of explosion of other weird little like Wordle-like games, or like Wordle clones or whatever. Like, people doing all of these little games now. I mean, not that people didn't play games before, but like the kind of a new, like little sprout of a particular kind of game, which is kind of fun. I like that. I don't know. Like I said the other day, I have to play like completely like no stakes games because my brain just latches on to any kind of anxiety producing thing. I have to play stuff that's like super low stakes. Wordle is about as high as I can manage. So yeah, I think that I have covered all of the stuff on my list. I'm not really sure because, like I say, it's been a long enough, you know, period of time that I have forgotten everything I was going to say to begin with, because that's just how it is. I have made an executive decision that I'm going to title this video like week 53. I think that's where we're at, purely because the 12th hasn't happened yet, and it like the week is getting kind of offset. So I'm going to title the first week after the actual anniversary happens is going to be week 1 again for the next year. So that's what we're doing. We're clearing out the last few days of the year. So yeah, that's why we have an extra week in this year. So I hope everybody's doing well. And I feel like there was another thing that I was going to say, like some kind of extra note that I was going to make about something, but I don't know what it was. I've forgotten about it. I guess I will, I don't know, add it later or something. I don't know. Mention it in the chat. I don't know. If I figure it out, I will let you know some way or other. Hope everybody's doing well. I love you all very much. Don't forget to be awesome.